YouTube, it's me, Ailish, and I'm filming with natural lighting and on my phone again. I'm sorry. I want to make YouTube videos and my computer hates me. But I am making this video, as you can see by the title, because I got hired at Sephora. Yeah, so about 2 weeks ago, I got my call saying that Sephora was going to give me a job, and when I applied and, I got my first interview, I was searching all over YouTube for videos on, their people's interview experience and, their experience working at Sephora and all of this stuff, and basically researching the interview process and Sephora itself. So I wanted to make a video explaining my experience, just in case it helps someone out there. And I will also link down below the 3 videos I watched before my interview. That this intro being super long, I'm going to explain my whole experience and my process and little tips. So, was about 2 months ago, 2.5 months ago-ish, the end of July, my boyfriend's sister told me that Sephora was hiring. So I wasn't planning on getting a second job, but the second I heard Sephora was hiring, I was all about that, because working at Sephora would be a freaking dream. I went in the next day with a resume. I made my resume. I went and I handed it in. They gave me the application and either go fill it out now and quickly bring it back, or I could bring it home and bring it back another day. So I went and I filled it out and I brought it back, and I went on my way. About a week later, I got a call, maybe a week and a half-ish later, I got a call asking for my first interview. On the phone, she was like, what world would you want to work in? And I was like, any. I would just love to work for you guys. Told me the date of my interview, which was a week later, and was so freaking excited. So that happened, and so that's when I started researching like crazy, people's experiences with their first interview at Sephora, what happens, and everything like that. And everywhere that I looked, people that I asked, they had a group interview. And I had a group interview before at a different job that I applied to 5 years ago. But, and it was so nerve-wracking back then. So when I started seeing people say that they were having a group interview at Sephora, I was like, no. No. That's terrifying. But obviously, I went to the interview. There was 3 of us in my group interview. And it was honestly completely fine. It shouldn't have been nerve-wracking at all. It was actually a really fun experience. They ask you basic questions, like why Sephora, different things about your old jobs, your likes and dislikes about them. Basically just getting to know you and see if you're a good candidate for the job that they want you for at Sephora. Group interview actually went very, very well. I was very confident in myself. The best thing I liked that they did was, the last group interview I did, we went in a circle all the time. Same circle. This person answered and it went around. What my manager did at this Sephora group interview was different people got to be the first to answer. So it was not just always your answer being like, oh yeah, same. Oh yeah, same. So our group interview was on a Monday, and she said we would know by the end of Tuesday or Wednesday. So I got a call on Wednesday asking for a single interview, like one-on-one. So again, a week later, I went into my single interview, and I wasn't that nervous for it because to me the group interview was the thing that was nerve-wracking to me. And say whole sheets, like they've got like 4 sheets of questions that they just ask you. So some of them you can skip on. If you don't have an answer to them, you can skip. They do obviously want you to answer majority of the questions with really good answers. And the girl that I had my interview with actually saw one of the plays that I was in about 2 years ago. So we were able to talk about theater a lot, which made it so much less nerve-wracking, because the second you talk to me about theater, I could just talk for hours. I will tell you every single show I was in and all of the experiences with them, and you probably won't get me to shut up. But it's definitely a good icebreaker. So that one went on, and then they're like, well, we will get the manager to call you, the store director to call you for another interview. And a bunch of people that I was telling were making jokes about like, oh, they're just seeing how long they can interview you for, like, oh, they're probably just making you go crazy and see how many interviews they can get you in on. But Sephora is known for a lot of interviews. They want to make sure they're hiring the proper person and the person that's perfect for the job. So no one was understanding that. But if you're getting hired at Sephora and you are on your 3rd interview, feel comfortable. Like, they are definitely making sure that you are the one that they want. So feel comfortable. So again, about 2 days later, I got a call for another interview that was in a week, and that one would be my final interview. So I went in and I sat down with the store director, and just a couple questions again there, checking on availability, like just double checking on availability and stuff, and just finalizing a couple stuff. And after that interview was over, which, to be completely honest, this interview, I was like, oh my god, I'm messing up on everything, like, this is the worst, she's not hiring me. Like, I was doubting myself so much. But at the end of that interview, she was like, I would feel very good hiring you on at Sephora. You are very bubbly, you are very talkative, that's what we need. Oh, by the way, I haven't even mentioned once, I was being interviewed for a cash wrap. But the next day, got a call from one of the supervisors there, just being like, just calling you to offer you the job. Please come in on this date with these forms and we'll get you started. And that's it. I had the job. And I've been there for about a week now. Today actually was my 4th shift. And I love it. It is so much fun. If you are like trying to convince yourself to apply at Sephora, do it. Like, do it. If you love makeup, do it. So that was my interviews, what went on there. For the attire, I would honestly say dress very professional. All of the videos I watched, you know, were like black and white, look very business-like. Sephora uniform is all black. Black shirt, black pants, or black and red tunic, which is a dress. And so dress very professional, business-like. Wear a full face of makeup. They need to know that you know how to apply makeup and you know what you're talking about when you talk to a customer about makeup. and just look fantastic. Research Sephora before you go into your interviews. They will ask you some questions about the history and stuff. If not, by the time you get the job, they will start teaching you about the history and ask you questions then. And I mean, you definitely should know about something when you're going into the job. Like they are owned by Louis Vuitton. The different brands that they sell in Sephora, maybe some of the brands that sell just in Sephora and not in other beauty boutiques. And yeah, go in with a smile and be confident. It is honestly such a good job.